Just let it pick comments. Ba, 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 ba. Got it. Trade of 8. I'm only gonna probably trade one because I gotta ask for my payouts on those other ones first. Then when I get the payouts, then I can trade those. But yeah, let's see where we go, guys. It's gonna be a interesting little ride. Hoping we get some volume from it. We should, but it's gonna be interesting. You can see we're bouncing right where we had the kind of drop and bounce here. It hit that almost to the freaking dollar, actually.
Are you trying to show your
screen? Nope. By now you should already just mentally know. Yeah, let me show you.
My screen.
Are you even trying, Jody? I'm just messing with you. No.
Yeah. I got to get mine back to. Mine don't look nothing like yours. That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't even know how that happened because you literally did a copy paste on yours. Did you go and break it?
I think I did.
Done broke it. No worries. We'll get it fixed again. I'll tell you, building things is fun, but you have not really lived until you get to break them. All right, guys. I'm just letting up people kind of join on in. I got everything going live. Got on TikTok, but we'll give it a few to let people kind of come in, but we'll get to rolling here. Just looking. Appreciate you guys joining in on the meet here. So far, for the most part, the day played out pretty close to what we talked about in the pre-market. Not too bad. And what I mean by that is, for those that missed kind of the morning, is we had our CPI, and here was our low and high. Market open, and Neo did an awesome job saying we'd sweep the high and drop to the low. So we caught that like in the first 2 minutes of open. And then we just kind of chopped, and I was kind of telling everybody, most part when we do this kind of range, when it's equal from the news release, we did an equal high to an equal low, then we swept that. A lot of times it just kind of ranges, so we were really looking for a range, and that was my theory, that we would range because most people love to catch the big move of CPI, and a lot of people want to take the breakout. So you got the people that are taking the shorts here and the longs there, and they just get wrecked. And so I did see a bunch of videos from people that were saying they had a rough day today. So we did pretty well in the room, as long as you listened, right, Ryan? As long as you listened. And you know, we ranged. So I kind of the plan that we had, I didn't take each direction. We outlined the high and the low of the candle, and every time it came back here with a little pressure up, we took that little long scalp, and we just kind of did that all day. And you can see the shift, which is interesting because we came down and we broke below it, but we tapped exactly on our prior low here and ended up breaking out of the wedge that I was kind of identifying that we were building. And from there, we expected in the afternoon for it to go more up. Traded that a bit. A lot of people watched. I've closed out my last trade, I think somewhere around here is what I did. But my theory was that at some point, whether it was during US or Asia, that we would come retest this low. of the news candle. And that is looking like it wants to try. And so if I take my line, I'm going to line this up. I had it before, but I think I erased it when I was talking to Justin. Ooh, got that one perfect. And so I'm going to mark the low here. I don't want to do blue. I'm going to do white just because that is our low of the news candle. So the high we're going to put up here, which is the 29,950. That net's still flying around my face here. One sec.
I ate in yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I know. Now they're tormenting me because I ate their sibling. Oh, it's just one. It drives me crazy. Give me one sec, guys. Okay, back. We have these little trap things I got. I'm like, I'm gonna put this in my damn office now. For those who, if you see me out here doing TA doing this, I'm being harassed by one single gnat that I ate one yesterday accidentally. More like breathed it, but their friends are attacking me now. Oh, we'll see. Protein, right? So we got the high, we got the low. It's an important thing to do when you have a big news event because the market likes to typically sweep one, sweep the other, and then find its direction. So at some point, we'll probably try to sweep here. And then if it reclaims it, we'll get a big push. If we lose it, then we'll get the true move. So, well, like I said, it was more inhaled. He kind of was roaming around my lungs. So my dog's already here, 2 minutes in. Buddy, I just got done petting you for like an hour. You're good. Go lay down. And so we want to watch something that's important is we had the break, got kind of a triple top, we broke down, pulled, swept it here, looks like right at close. Dropped again, so we got the absorption south. We know we got the lows here. We know we got the lows here. Getting almost a perfect bounce on this prior low where we had the deep pull that pushed us into the high. So I'm just going to run a couple lines that are going to be pretty important, and then we'll correlate them with Neo as well. I'm going to do teal because I want to not do something that's blue because that's Neo's. And then we'll check in with the AI. That's 782.25. Pretty close. So these are going to just be some key levels, guys, to watch within this range. Kind of subjective because this is a really good spot here because you got all these prior highs plus the wick and drop. If I do the lows here, then it doesn't line up as much. Yeah, so I'm going to throw, and we'll adjust as Neo throws some lines, but I just kind of wanted to put a few important areas to watch as we check area through the Asia here. Man, I really don't like that either. I'm gonna do more there for now. That's fine. A little higher, I'd rather than lower. For those joining on TikTok, you can hang around. Wednesdays at 7, I go live on Asia. It's pretty much the only day I commit to do Asia from 7 o'clock till as late as y'all engage. As long as people are asking questions and engaged, we'll trade. We'll kind of show you what Neo can do. If you don't know who Neo is, he's our AI here, which I'll talk about in a bit. And we will try to go through and see if there's any trade opportunities. I will tell you, when I do my trading, I want to explain the why. You're not going to see it like some of you may be used to, where I'm not one that's going to sit here and go, guys, here's your setup, here's your entry, here's your loss, here's your target. Like, I want to teach you why you're setting that up. Now, Neo is going to give levels. Those levels are what you can determine for the entry, and I will explain what they mean and kind of where to look to enter from it. Being Asia, we could get a little volatility as we get into 8 o'clock, but possibly going to be pretty quiet. We'll see. Just keep an eye on your volume. We have kind of a wide swing that we could do. You could go anywhere from the 45 back to the 950, back to the 45, really. When you look at this from a high time frame like this, we're really kind of just doing what this cluster did here, just ranging. So you can see when we got into here, we ranged, swap a little, range, and then met our direction. So there's a good chance we could pull further to kind of keep this ranging going. If we, by chance, hold some critical levels, for example, I love to use either the favor tracement or a simple ruler to grab the high and a low of a pivot. That, which is right about 768 or so, is going to be your midpoint. So as long as we stay above that, or if we lose it to test the news low and then we reclaim that, then we'll see further upside. But if we lose that that level, and if we lose this 45 level, then we do have a lot further down that we can go. So we'll keep an eye on that. If you're one that loves trend lines, you could put simple ones like this. As many of you probably know, those who trade trend lines, that the market has not really been respecting trend lines very well. So I will still use them on high time frame, but yeah, it's not really been respecting it well. So we'll put this in here. I'm going to kind of make it thin just so it's there. Just to kind of give us some form of a bottom. At this moment, you can see we have multiple equal highs in that low. We were kind of measuring out a potential bull pivot, but obviously now it's kind of pivoting more ascending triangle potential. So ascending triangles are mostly continuation, but they're actually bilateral. They can go up or down. It doesn't really matter. If it breaks this low, it's going down, and breaks this high, it's going up. And so, but right now, again, for those kind of just joining in, these two white lines are going to be the most critical of them. Oh, get out of here. And so we could just range in between these. So my suggestion, and we'll lean on Neo, the AI, for some guidance, is if we are going to be below down here, we probably don't really want to short. I would prefer to just kind of let it roll and then see if we break above or if we break down. Because we run the risk of hitting here and then bouncing right back up. And then anywhere up here, probably don't want to take along from within. So, but we will lean on Neo. Again, I'll be around tonight as long as we need. The Neo. So if you're new to Neo or my stream on TikTok or YouTube here, this is Neo. He is our AI that our company created, and he has been guiding the community and people within the community for quite some time here now. And he is, I think, what do we joke about today? 9 weeks and 1 day, calling the market open to almost the dollar. Like, perfect. And so we took the first move at 2 minutes, which is amazing because today was obviously a post-CPI day. And many people got their trades done within the first few minutes, which was amazing. And so Neo is going to help with guidance, trade management. He has all his own connections. There's no settings to choose. He's true AI, not the ones y'all see that people like to say is AI. That's not. he's not like an AI that you guys have probably even built. I have a lot of people who sign up to Neo that have their own AI, and they typically do it to validate their AI. And you'll see the difference on that. So in our website, you're going to see just a quick little overview, nextstepalgo.com. When you go here, we have a couple of options. I know it seems like a lot when you first land here, but it's really not as much as you think. When you first land on the start here, these are all just tiles of what we do. So TradeVision is what the mentor, the guide, with Neo. We have sessions, and then we have some subscription stuff. You got the courses, indicators, things like that. If you just click on any of these, it takes you where it is. So AI sessions is right here. Anything under live is our sessions. If the light is on, then we're live. If it's not, if it's red, then we are not. We do an open session every day during the week, Monday through Friday, and it is 9 a.m. to 11 right there. Anybody can join. It's free. I also stream on TikTok, so you can join on TikTok or YouTube, whatever is easier for you. We are now in TradeVision training, which is where people are joining in on the meet there. And to get into the TradeVision training, you just have to be part of TradeVision. Now that could be either subscribed or free trial. So we do a 3-day free trial with no credit card link, no commitments, no nothing. We just want you guys to try them. And if you have not done the trial, you can go and do the trial and you can join. When you come into here, all you do is click the button, or you can stay on TikTok. Totally cool with that too. We have AI session. This is our original Neo that we created.
Hello, I'm Neo. Let's capture the move.
There it is. And the original Neo that we created, he gives the updates on the NASDAQ. We don't charge for this one. It's free for anybody that wants to watch it. We decided when we created TradeVision to keep this one running and let it be free. So anybody who wants to watch it, it's just a stream. No settings, no nothing. You don't have to choose anything. You just load the site and leave it on there. It does have audio, so if you have it unmuted, he will talk to you and read this out to you. We just wanted to keep a free way for people to watch some guidance, keep you safe through your trading. So, and I really wanted a way for you guys to have some good guidance to earn your payouts before you go out and start buying tools if you need to get that payout to help. And so we'll probably keep this one free for a while because unless we expand on it, I don't intend on charging for this. So if you guys want to go in and watch that, you can do that as well. And then we have other stuff. Neo will be trading for people pretty soon. We have the trading courses if you want to watch any of our videos. Let me push. And then we're going to jump into the TA in a second, guys. But just for those that are new, I just wanted to kind of give you a little overview. Dun, dun, dun. I'm just going to sync this. I'm going to force it. We push it every night, but just so you can see. So like right now, we are live in this one. Wednesday, Asia, post-CPI, after ranging, will we go bullish or bearish, right? You can click on it all on the website. You can watch it. It's just a link to YouTube, and we're live right now. All right. But, guys, I go live again on Wednesdays. I don't trade a ton of Asia myself, but I like to go live on Wednesdays because it gives you guys an opportunity to see what Neo can do and ask questions during an environment that's not very busy.
Ready. Let's see if we can find a trade that doesn't just end in a sideways headache. What are we looking at?
And so feel free to ask questions, guys. You can join in. We're just gonna kind of hang out, pop in and out as you guys want. I will do my best to answer questions. Usually I can because it's a little slower environment versus what we deal with in the US when we're there. So just want to look and see. Yeah, they haven't processed them yet. Let's see if my payout was ready for my funded. The rapid ones we always, it used to be 8:30, but I noticed it's been like 7:30 or so lately. And so I'll kind of watch on that. So I wanted to get my payout on those two that I did today before I trade those. But I do have one that I can trade. So I'm going to set that up actually now. Yeah, we'll do it this way. Okay. So I'm just going to get going, guys. Again, feel free to ask questions as you go. I love TikTok, but I know a lot of people come in, out, in and out, in and out. And so I'm sure I'll have to explain it a bunch of times. So let's get going on Neo. He has his personalities that you can choose. This is, again, the TradeVision part. And you can choose the personality. You can do institutional, advanced, uncensored, sarcastic, funny, professional, beginner, or friendly. I tend to like institutional or funny lately. Funny is, as many of you in here know, I love funny because trading is emotional at times, and it's kind of nice to just kind of have a little joking, right? A little crack a joke here and there. All you do when you come in is you're going to choose your symbol. So he can do quite a bit of things, guys. We just primarily focus on the NASDAQ. So you have future symbols that we have. You have options. We have stocks. We got crypto, all that stuff. So anything you want him to do. If you guys want him to give you an update on a certain symbol, you can let me know. If he has that in his database, then I'll have him do it. Even if he doesn't, as long as I'm not waiting for a trade setup, I don't mind during this session flipping over and kind of giving you guys some guidance if you want. And so to use him, it's real simple. And all I'm going to do is once I get everything chosen, I got English, quick. I usually when I trade, I keep it on quick. If I'm going to do education or development with him, then I go into normal or detail because he'll give a little longer on his responses. He does have memory as well, so just to note that. But first thing I like to do with Neo is I'm going to ask him about just give me an update and tell me where to put my lines. We are going to be doing some trading in Asia. Just so you know, I am live on TikTok and with the community. And so let's try to get some good winning setups. And I may ask you from time to time questions that come in from TikTok. So let's play nice. He was a little sassy today, so he goes through like mood swings. You guys notice that? Like, I know you in the mentor group, we talked about that. Sometimes, man, he's just like all about it, and sometimes he's like, if you want to do this.
Welcome to the stream, Nick. Let's see if we can find setups that actually pay rather than just eating our commissions. Right now, the chart is in a classic tug of war. Regular sell pressure is dominant at 78%, but institutional flow is whispering, buy, creating a chaotic conflict that is keeping price chopped in a tight range. I wouldn't touch anything in the middle of this mess. It's just a retail trap waiting to happen. The clean trade requires a decision. A breakdown below 29,795.00 for a short, or a reclaim and hold above 29,817.25 for a long. Anything else here is just donating money to the broker. What's the chat asking?
Okay, so they only give us those 2 levels, which is fine. So anything you see on my chart that is blue is Neos. These teal ones are just kind of ones that I'm watching as well because I think they're important levels. And so he's got the 817.25 and the 795. So if you are following along on TradingView, you can mark your charts up. Let's see. Can you tell me where are the institutional levels at that I should be concerned about around here? So he does have institutional data, where the big money's got their stuff, and so
Nick,
that's always important.
Those levels are sitting overhead like a ceiling you aren't allowed to touch yet. With price at 29,803.25, the institutional levels at 29,844.3, 29,851.9, and 29,864.14 are all overhead reaction zones. They are sitting 40 plus points away, so I would treat them as extended targets rather than immediate scalp blockers. The real fight right now is local structure. Price is just struggling to find a directional pulse, and I wouldn't bet the farm on those walls until Price actually earns the right to visit them.
Okay. So very interesting. We got none below us, really. We got a bunch of them above us. So a lot of times those walls are areas that we like to chase, but we have to break in order to really expand. And so there's a lot of resistance above us for sure. We would have to kind of get above that 864 likely. And so the lower side he didn't really give us anything lower. And so let me ask him, are all of them above us, or is there any below that 795 level you had me mark? And so we'll get that one marked on there as well. So, and again, guys on TikTok,
The
feel free to ask
institutional levels at
questions.
29,844, 29,851, and 29,864 are all sitting overhead like a ceiling you aren't allowed to break for yet. Your 29,795 mark is below price, serving as local support, and frankly, it's the only thing keeping the floor from falling out right now. If that 29,795 gives way, the next structural stop is the recent low at 29,780.50 before we start hunting for the bigger bullish order blocks way down below. You're currently trapped between an institutional ceiling and a floor that's getting thinner by the minute.
So again, guys, we had a good little pull here at the end. With this kind of absorption, usually we get a little more downside, but we could see a little attempt here, but we did get that neckline kind of right there. And then it's rejecting off of that area. 5 minutes got a little absorption. Interesting. Got it. I have all the levels set. Based on all the data that you see, which would you be leaning toward as far as a bias? Taking longs or shorts? See what he says on that.
Look, Nick, if you're looking for a solid bias here, you're basically asking me to pick the winner of a staring contest between two statues. We are deep in consolidation territory, and those institutional walls are sitting overhead at 29,844 and change, acting like a ceiling you aren't allowed to touch yet. If you force a long while we're pinned under that trash, you're just volunteering to be liquidity for the institutions. I wouldn't lean long until we actually reclaim and hold above the 29,817 range high, and I wouldn't lean short until we break that 29,780 floor. Until then, the only winning bias is don't pay the broker for free.
Don't pay the broker for free. So it is Asia. So I'm going to go back to my 15-second chart. Now that we got a little range here, guys. Here is our range. You guys can clearly see we have a nice little pocket he's creating. We know this is that low of the news. We know that we had a deep pull. We came up and we're rejecting right on those kind of prior areas there. So we can go in and just kind of watch the candles and see what these things are doing to kind of tell us a little bit of a story of which way we may be going. I think it was hilarious. Sometimes, in those who use them that are on here regularly, he will tell you a bias, like long is the only way. What do you mean? Sometimes he will not. So this is the case that he's apparently not. And so I love his little analogy of, you're asking me to pick the winner of a staring contest between two statues. That is why I like funny, because it's always nice to have a little humor there. Getting a little volume. We got the 730 volatility kind of popping in here. Little sweep wick there. And you can see with the breakdown, we also are rejecting on the prior lows. So a pull is not shocking. What I would look for on this pull is, where does it stop? And so when we pull our little fib retracement, you can see we're tapping right on this 618. If it happens to come back up and reclaim this 382, it's going to be a trap and go back up. If we come up to the 0.5 and 382, which would be around 798 and 803, and we reject, then it's going to drop down. And so we'll see. We know that this 795 was a pretty big number that he called. He is not interested in going short unless we get a 1 minute candle body close up below 795, and then the target's not really that far, only like a 15 point move. The flip side is, if we break above the 817 and hold, then the target is 844, which is a little bit farther. And so we'll have to see. It's Asia, so a lot of times when I trade Asia, I like to just get the range, lean on him for his guidance in the range, and then I want to see what the candles are doing. You know, if you pay attention close enough, the candles will tell you a story on it. The overall story now is, you guys can see we had sort of an ugly looking inverse head and shoulder here that pulled up, clearly lost our neckline in a sweep. We did get an absorption here right at after our 7 o'clock candle. That came back down. We rejected from the halfway pretty clearly. You can see, yeah, we got pretty close to where that half was, and then rejected, swept it, and then we rejected, and then we held the lows pushing us down. So now what I like to look at, you can just take a simple ruler and grab this and down. We had a big sweep, but we also reclaimed our 50. If it can hold that a couple candles and a close above, then you'll get more upside. If we lose that, then we will get more downside. Again, you know, according to Neo, he is not interested in trading inside 795 and 817, which is not really that big of a range, but in Asia, it definitely can feel like it. So you don't want to push any trades. I would love to see this. I'm not, you guys see that in the, those in the mentor side of it. I would love to see a pivot, slide, pivot, slide, pivot. All right. That would be somewhat of what I teach in a 3-tier drop. It's where you get 1, 2, 3. The third one, if it gets full extension, will likely keep going. But if it gets a weak extension and then reclaims that, then it will inverse on you. So, which is a really good play if we can get that to set up. Got it. I think we have all our levels. So while we wait for this market to do something, you want to introduce yourself to everybody and kind of explain how you can help them?
What's up, TikTok? I'm Neo. Look, if you're looking for someone to chant to the moon or give you magic signals, you've got the wrong guy. I'm the teammate who actually looks at structure and liquidity so we don't just blindly chase candles into a meat grinder. I'm here to help you trade with a plan, identify the traps before they catch you, and make sure we're the ones doing the trapping, not the ones getting trapped. Basically, I'm the voice of reason that keeps us from doing stupid things with our capital. Let's get to work.
Yeah, we got a pretty good reclaim from that bounce. So let's see. Yeah, right off the 618. So if we can reclaim that 382, we might get a little push off of it, guys. Again, he doesn't like anything between there and there. If we do reject on these prior lows with any kind of steam, then that will likely get that close below, and then that would set up your little scalp short if you want to. I probably won't take the short, but like to watch and see what we got here. So right now we're retesting these lows. If by chance this comes up and reclaims those, then it's going to jump. Oh, there it goes. So we got the bounce right off the 795. At least his his guidance is on point as far as not taking the trade until you get below the 795. We also have 745 coming, so anybody who's traded Asia, you guys know that 745 we tend to get a little hoorah of volatility. So, and then 8 o'clock is obviously going to be the true volatility. So right now we just got that pop off the 618. Really, honestly, to his point, if we can get this push here that pushes up and holds this area, it's a pretty decent setup. A lot of the liquidity is actually up here, but I think at some point it's going to, like I said, try to get to that 745. So we got to keep an eye on that as well, though. So you can play it a few ways. You can keep your volume low, play defensively, you know, knowing that we're have the chance of pulling there, or you can just set your tight stops and play a little higher volume on that. So I have a payout coming tonight, and sets up a pretty decent week. So I'm not going to be real aggressive with these accounts, but I can't trade 2 of them until I get my payout. But guys, again, those of you in the room, those of you on TikTok, you know, I'm hanging out on here mostly for you guys. So feel free, ask questions. Otherwise, I'm just gonna kind of study the chart, and if we get a good couple trades in, and people got questions, we'll stick on. So I'll either hang out till 8:39 or I'll hang out till 11, 12 until, as long as you guys are still kind of engaging, looking for things. I want to make it not only a hey, let's get a trade, but more teachable moments, so you guys can kind of see what we do each day. So we got that good bounce off that 618. His 795 call was a good call not to take the short. I didn't take the long just because we're right at that 745. I'm gonna wait and see what we get at 745 into our 8 o'clock here, I think. For me, if I see this push hold pretty high up here, push again, or hold on this high, and then explode through with a test, with the doji or absorption, and then it closes above, then I'll take that long to it. That's mostly what I'm looking for, so it's looking like it might happen, but we'll see. The last few days, Asia definitely has been more in a buying mood than selling. The last few Asia sessions, so we want to keep that in mind. I'm gonna load my funded on the computer so I don't have to watch it on my phone. Dun, dun, dun. Look at this. We got a pump off the 95 and a rejection off of his 817. Ooh, the trap jumping in though. Interesting. Those traps are actually pretty good. So we get that good close out of that. Might not be too bad of a short. Dun, dun. We got a really good bounce off that 795, so it's a good call not taking a short until we get below that. We just pushed back up into the 817 range, and we're getting a lot of little trap indicators showing up on my trading view, showing we might get a little pullback from this. Are you seeing anything on your side that supports a potential pullback south? Yeah. Yeah, it could go deeper if it gets below that 50. So you just measure there, bam.
Glad you caught the bounce. Don't go spending the profits before the market actually clears the mess. Your trap indicators aren't lying. Price is currently poking its nose into a bearish order block, 29,813.50 to 29,823.25, and stalling exactly where the sellers are waiting. Add in the institutional walls looming overhead at 29,844, and it's no wonder buyers are losing their nerve here. If price can't punch through this block with actual conviction, this move is just a gift-wrapped trap for the late buyers. I'd be protecting that profit before the market decides to take it back.
Yep. And so again, guys, for Neo, he is all commercialized. It's not something we made on our desktop, anything like that. It's he's hosted on commercial servers. And it's all web-based. So when you go in, you just go to the website nextstepalgo.com, and TradeVision is what we are talking to now, but Neo is across our whole site. We have them in our training. We are building support Neo, which is really close. And so Neo is kind of across the whole site. And so if you want to take kind of look at him and see how he can help you, we do a free 3-day trial, and you don't have to link card, and there's no commitments whatsoever. It doesn't even go through Stripe. It just connects to our website on there. So, but no settings you have to do. You don't have to connect any data. He has all his own data. The only thing you have to do is if I'm trading the MNQ, I just make it say MNQ. If I wanted to trade gold, let's say I could click it to gold. Can you give a quick update on gold? And then you just push the microphone, send it, and he'll give you an update on gold. And so we'll do a couple things, but really, really simple to use.
Gold is currently locked in a wrestling match with itself. pinned inside a compression zone between 4,465.7 and 4,469.1, like it can't decide if it wants to rocket or crash. I wouldn't touch this middle of nowhere nonsense. Letting it actually pick a side first is the only way to avoid getting chopped up. A clean long idea needs a 1 minute close and hold above 4469.1, while a short needs to lose and hold below 4465.7. Until one of those happens, the only thing you'll catch in this zone is a headache.
All right. And there's the gold. And if you want to come back, you can check anything, NVIDIA, SpaceX, whatever we support on there. And if we don't have it, people who are part of the community within, especially if you're subscribed to TradeVision, right, then you just let us know and we'll add it in there for you. Not too hard to add things the way we set it up. Well, let me, 1 second. Gotta respond to someone trying to get in. All right. So again, guys, these trap blocks are pretty good. So I'm curious to see as the 70.45 hits if we get any kind of sweep down or does it pop it through on that. But for those who joining in, he doesn't like a long until we're above 817. Doesn't like a short till 795. I'm not opposed to taking little scalps in between, but you just gotta kind of be careful as we approach 8 o'clock, because 8 o'clock will potentially swing a little different. All right. One sec, guys. I gotta send a text. 'Alright. See these trapping blocks, this thing. It's so good. Yep, there you go. From this one, when I got the close out of the block, I took the short with a quick TP at the 795, so that ended up hitting. 780 is the next low, but we'll see if we get the break. If we get the break, his short play was getting a close below there. He said we'll sweep down to the 80. Not a very big TP. So 1 sec, I gotta deal with something.
From the drop.
Yeah. One second, sorry, this is important. It's crazy. Some of you all have explained what I was doing there. Mind blowing, but not shocking. All right, so we haven't broken below our 95. We got 12 minutes for open. We'll see. Based on what you're seeing, so that trap indicator that I have showing the southern move played out pretty well. It took a little scalp from that. We still can't break that 795. Do you, probability-wise, does it seem higher probability we're going to break that southern 795 before or at the 8 o'clock Tokyo Open on that? He hates when I ask him to speculate. Sometimes he'll do it.
That 29,795 level is basically begging to be mugged right now. With buy fraction sitting at a pathetic 15% and sell pressure leaning hard on the door, the odds of a break before Tokyo opens feel like they're favoring the bears, though this consolidation is so stubborn it's like watching paint dry in a hurricane. Betting on a clean break is always a coin toss, but with that much sell pressure, I'd be surprised if 29,795 survives another serious look. If you're still riding that long, keeping a tight leash on it is probably smarter than betting the floor will hold when the order flow is leaning so hard to the downside.
All right. Got 10 minutes. Mug right now, yeah, with a buy fraction of 15%. Before the open, it feels like they're favoring the bears. Okay. So what we'll do is maybe a few minutes before 8, we'll ask them the old where would he send price on that. We'll see if we get a little bounce. Normally, if it's not coming into like an 8 o'clock open like that, I love top and bottom trading. So when I see these kind of absorptions like this and I get that close above, to take little quick micro scalps, 10, 15 point moves is just money. But as we approach 8 o'clock, anything's possible, guys. And we can measure our 50. If we tap here, if it comes up and taps that and violently kind of pulls down, it's going to sweep to the 80. But if we if we can push through this and then tap with it, then it's going to sweep up. I mean, I'm with Neo. I'm leaning more southern only, but we'll see when 8 o'clock hits if it's just only because, like I said, we usually get to here, that low of the news at some point, but it doesn't have to be right away. But let's just see, make sure it's acting like it's supposed to be acting. So we're pushing again. Let's pull this back. So we have two levels we can kind of watch. We have that one, which is trying to break the 50. Shouldn't have too much strength if it's going to be bearish though, guys. And so see how it's getting that momentum? Now that it's broken it, I was teaching a lot on the mentor side of it. You can kind of take a little fib to see where it rejects from the fib since we broke the 50. So if we hit the 618 and we reject below this in the 382, then it will drop pretty hard. Anything short of that, it'll push. And so, yep, look at that. And we're getting a, oop, didn't lock though. Interesting, got some absorption. Notice where that absorption to the north right before the 8 o'clock happened. So just below our 50. So if I was to fib that one out, look at a perfect, so we literally have a top from the higher structure 618 rejection into the bottom of the microstructure 618 support. So little battle of the fibs there. So we'll look and see what this wants to do on open. While we're waiting for this open, do you have any potential learning opportunities that you see on the chart? So again, he can help educate you if you need, and real-time examples as well.
The chart is basically stuck in the MNQ blender, but there is a perfect learning moment staring us in the face with that bearish order block at 29,807.50 to 29,811.50. The classic trap is trying to bank on a breakout the second price taps that block. Usually, the market uses that first touch to slap longs back down. If you want to see if this long has actual teeth, wait for it to clear the block and hold above it rather than just bumping into it and hoping the institutional ghosts are feeling generous. Want to know the exact hold condition I'd look for before trusting the breakout?
So because I asked a question, I wanted to kind of learn or ask. Notice how he's asking questions now because he's kind of flipping to mentor Neo. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Since you asked, don't let a stray wick fool you. The market loves to fake a breakout right into that 29,807.50 to 29,811.50 block and then fold. I need to see a solid 1-minute bullish candle body close and hold above 29,811.50 to actually trust the move. If that happens, the 29,844.3 wall is the first real prize. If price gets scared and flops back below 29,807.50, the long thesis is toast.
Interesting. So once a candle body close below the 1150. Now we have all these traps here, so I would prefer that it kind of broke, showed support, and then jumped if we're gonna do that one. But again, 5-6 minutes. We got we're gonna get some more true direction on it. Look and see. Interesting. Yeah.
For me, you put retracement settings on the. I was gonna take a picture if I thought I think mine's off.
There's no real settings. I mean, mine's just default. You just click on it, and you can see you got the coordinates, visibility. It's all default. So yeah. All default. Yeah. I mean, you could. A lot of times, I'm not really looking for the extension. I'm more using it for. I'm more using it for strength. You know, just seeing how strong the move is. So I might just take those off like that because I just want to see where the strength is of the pullback. So let's take this. I don't remember which way I put it, so let's take it off. Let's take the low of the pivot and the high, and let's just kind of see. I kind of want to take the higher time frame part of it. Let's see how that lines up. Not too really a fan of that one. This one lines up pretty well. Yeah, maybe we'll just leave the shorter structure here. Because anything that holds above this, from this pivot push, above this 0.5 is going to be potential to push more north. If we break back below the 0.5 and the 618, that's when you get the deeper sweep. Anything above that is going to likely jump, but we do have a lot of resistance within here. So, but in 3 minutes, you know, the Asia Open can flip that. So. I'll ask him here in a minute, see what he thinks they're going to do. Okay, with 8 o'clock coming here in about a minute or so, where would you send the price at the 8 o'clock open for the Tokyo side of it to wreck the most retail traders based on the data that we're at? We do this in the open, and man, he nails it on the open every day. I don't do it a lot with him in Asia.
From a trader-facing liquidity view, the Tokyo Open loves to play the breakout game just to rug pull anyone who falls for it. The likely trap route is a quick sweep above the 29,817.25 recent high debate breakout longs. only to slap them down and flush price toward the 29,780.50 low. I'd trust that short route only if price sweeps that high and then immediately fails to hold it, confirming the trap with a 1-minute candle close back below. If price ignores the sweep and decides to reclaim 29,817.25 with actual conviction, the short thesis gets tossed out, and the primary liquidity destination shifts to the institutional wall near 29,844.3.
He's thinking they would sweep the upper, and then on the way back down from it, slam it down to the 780. Let's see. You can see the candle progression here. We're getting a lot of absorption north. See this within? So it wouldn't surprise me. But we do have a lot of resistance here and a lot of resistance here. So when we do this in the morning, the way I kind of teach people is when he says stuff like that, if it does happen to push, on the way back down is the low that you want to take that. But let's see. We got 8 o'clock. Let's see what kind of volume picks up. 8 o'clock's hit or miss too. Sometimes it can move really far and sometimes it doesn't do much at all. So little equal high-low. So remember, close below the 795 was what he was saying would be there. The low of the news is 745. Right now they're not really doing much. Just kind of up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, so well, there's the sweep that he said of the upper. Ooh, that came pretty deep too. So let's see if they end up coming back and breaking back through. So his call was that they would sweep up. Played out good. He does that every morning as well. And then on the break back below the 8, what do you say? 17 is what he said. Right there. So if we break back below the 817, he would slam it. They would slam it back down to the 780, is what he said. Let's see if we get that break back below, guys. Looks like we got the push above the 817. They're definitely trying to push it. So now you would wait for the break back below the 817 to make the decision if we're going to go to the 780. Got the sweep. Let's see. So again, as long as we
market already
stay...
pulled the rug on those breakout longs, so price is already back below 29,817.25. You don't need a break. You need sellers to show they aren't just taking a nap. I'd trust the short only if we see a 1-minute bearish rejection or candle close confirming sellers are holding that 29,817.25 line like it's their last lifeline. If they do, the first meaningful downside target is that Asia low near 29,792.50. If price reclaims and holds 29,817.25 again, it's just a long trap, and the short thesis is toast.
Actually, we are above 817, and we never went back below that. If you could take a look at your data again. So we got the push. Here's the 844.
You're right. The bears just got evicted. Price is holding nicely above 29,817.25, so the long is alive and kicking. Buyers just need to defend this 29,809.50 to 29,817.25 zone as support while pushing toward that 29,844.3 institutional wall. If price decides to break back below 29,817.25, consider it a fake out and run, and a confirmed loss of the 29,793.00 low permanently kills the vibe.
1 second, guys. My payouts available, so I'm going to work on that for just a second. Dun, dun, dun. So I can actually try to trade these ones. Yeah, they came in swinging. Okay. All right. Nice little push, guys. Let's look at the overall structure of the upper. So 64 was kind of his high. That would be about the 50. So if we lose back below 44, it's likely going to come back pretty good, but we'll see. We'll see if we get any kind of retracement from this. Again, you know, 8 o'clock, so we'll see. Yeah, everybody can do it themselves. Again, he's on a commercial server, so all you do is go to the website, nextstepalgo.com, and when you go onto the site, it's going to take you to here. Start here. You just click on the TradeVision Neo AI, and you get 3 days free. So that's why I do Wednesdays. Yeah. Oh yeah, the 844 was spot on. You get 3 free days, and to give them a try. So if you want to do it, you guys can be on it. I literally go live only for Wednesdays for you guys to give them a try. And that way, if you guys do the trial, you want to go in, you have any questions, you know, let me know. Make sure you guys get everything you need. Yeah, his sweep of that 8,
Hey,
he
Nick,
said
I'm
817,
locked,
but
loaded,
yeah.
and ready to help you dodge those traps. What's the move?
So his call, remember, was to sweep the 817, but earlier he said if we break at 17, the target was the 844. So actually 852 you got here. And so I want to watch this because this is an actual open. Sometimes they'll open and sweep it, and then they'll pull it back down. So if we break back below that 817, I want to see if we get back down to that 780 that he was talking about, but it doesn't have to. If we end up fibbing it, if we take the low, you can see we're bouncing already off right around that 236. So it's showing some pretty good strength. And so we do 2 plans. The coupon that we do is for the basic, it's $100 a month, and the pro is $250. So the difference on the plans, we don't dilute his logic. It's not like one is better than the other. I don't ever want to do that in anything we build. So when we go in, the only thing that is different is on the basic, you can have future symbols. So gold, anything in this future symbol list right here. And then on the pro, you get the options, stocks, crypto, enhanced languages, responses, things like that on that for the pro. So if you like to do options, follow stocks, you know, check your crypto portfolio. That's where people a lot of times will use the pro. Some people get it just for the personalities, which is funny, which works. I love that's why I love the funny personality as well. So, but guys, again, he's so much more than just signals. He's going to give you levels, data. You can talk to him, interpret things. You know, he's going to be able to basically develop you. And so, if you have your own strategy, you can tell him your strategy, and he will accept your strategy and try to help it. You know, he can improve it. There's actually been a few people that report it. Oh, I love my fund, I swear. Already approved. Boom. But you know, they've told him their strategy, and it ended up working out pretty cool because their strategy, they said, was like a 75-80%, 80 in there, and he was able to get them up to like a 95% on their own strategy. So he doesn't care if you have your own strategy. He's going to help you with it as well. So the only line he gave us above was that 764. So I'm curious to see if we tap here and get that drop. A bearish play would only be viable if we break back below here. Then you get that swing. So let's see. We just tapped kind of a couple of those levels. Do you see any signs of the bears possibly kicking in here to try to finally drive it down to that 780? If so, what level would we need to close below to higher the odds, increase the odds of us getting down to the 780?
The bears are currently getting their lunch money stolen by the 79% buy pressure, so don't expect a free ride down to 29,780. For the short to actually become viable, price needs to break down and hold below that major 29,844.3 institutional wall. If that confirms, the active leg low near 29,780.5 is your first meaningful downside target.
Okay.
If price reclaims and holds back above 29,864.25, the bear thesis can go back to hibernating.
Okay. So in a nutshell, guys, he wants it to close below the 844, and then that will bring you to the 780. If it breaks back above the 864, then that short thesis is dead. At what point would you take a long, and what do you want to see? Let's see what he says. Clearly, Asia wanting to buy again. Kind of wonder if they're going to do what they did yesterday.
The long is currently stuck in the institutional penalty box between 29,844 and 29,864. I wouldn't bet the farm until price clears the top of that wall at 29,864.25 with a clean 1-minute candle close. If that breaks out, the first meaningful target is 29,928.75. If price trips back below 29,864.25, take that as a warning, and if it loses 29,817.25, the bullish thesis is officially toast.
All right, so if you can get a break and hold of 64 on the candle close from there, then that would be your 928 is what he's talking about. They're definitely trying to hold it up here. For now. So let's look and see. We got a nice
The bulls are
absorption
playing
where
a
we needed
fierce
it.
game of keep away with that 29,844 wall right now. They're doing a decent job holding it up, but until we see a clean 1-minute candle close and hold above that upper 29,864.14 institutional wall, we're essentially just playing bumper cars in a confined space. If they can't punch through that ceiling soon, keep a sharp eye out for the classic rug pullback toward that 29,817.25 support. That's where the real headache begins if it fails.
When he starts saying the things like that, the rug pull, remember, whenever he uses those kind of words, man, how he says things matters, guys, man. I talk about that all the time. I'm curious to see. You can see we got the absorption where we needed it. We're indecision. A close below here would try to sweep. So try to form a little head and shoulders as well. So we'll see if it wants to accommodate that. So close below the 844. Ugh, I think the nut just flew in my eye. This thing is just attacking me, man. I tell you, you take one out and they just come at you. About to smoke bomb this little house. I lived on 10 acres for a while, and so definitely not shy to gnats, but man, this thing got me. Again, little bastards. Ugh, I think it got me in my eye. Yeah, I've done that before. Yeah, we've done that. That and you do the little like Dawn dish soap in there and all that. And we have these kind of little fluorescent light sticky pads, and they do pretty good on them too. But yeah, we had some stuff that got put in the garage, and in the humidity, I guess the gnats came, and I was cleaning the garage out, and then the door got propped open, and they all just kind of flooded in. And as you guys know, once they get in there, man, ugh, they're just pain in the ass to get out. Yeah. Setting up, so you can see we got this. We're pulling. I'm a little bit of my why is why are we hugging that? Yeah, we shouldn't really be hugging that. We should be dancing this down here. A little intriguing. If I take the upper and lower, see, we lost our 50 and reclaimed it. So interesting. But guys, again, his long is he wants above here to go to there. He wants below the 844 to go to the 817. So now, but a lot of buy pressure coming in. So unless they absorb this here soon, they might try to jump this. Look at the we got a little. I didn't draw any trend lines out really, but you can see that. See the structure here? So if we can break above that, yeah, it's going to run all the way to there. But if we stay below this, then we should get a little pull. Got a nice little trend line there that's going to try to bump against. I like to be aware of the trend lines, but I don't. Oh, I know. Look, if they're not going to go away, I'm just going to eat them. Protein. I just don't want to breathe them. That's where I'm not trying to choke on them. Man, I was live on everything, recording. I'm like, yeah, and I took a breath. I'm like, oh, hold on, be right back. I've been impaled here, freaking breathing and that in. I don't trade trend lines anymore because I studied them very differently. Because the trend line is Neo will tell you it's just a visual that retail uses, but there's a reason structurally why trend lines develop. But I do like to know they're there to determine, like if he says, hey, long above there, and we get a good break on it, then it's probably gonna be pretty good because we broke the trend line. But if he says short below here and we get the rejection like we're trying to get with the traps blocking up, right, then it is likely going to end up a pretty good short because you got the short setup with the trap with that, you start to build confluence. So let's see if we get that confluence here. Now keep in mind, guys, this is Asia, it's not US. So US, when he says I will rip the price up and then slam it back down to 780, it's pretty fast. It's usually boom and then boom within minutes, like 2 to 10 minutes at most. But this is Asia, so who knows? I'm curious. He had said that they would push it up, bait all the long people before slamming it back to his 780. So I'm kind of curious if we actually end up down there with it. So we're getting a little confluence with the trend line, but we're getting some support where we arguably shouldn't get it. So I'm going to take the little pivot here and just watch. As long as we stay below 854 and we can sweep it again to close there, then we'll get volume down. See the pull and jump there though? Let's see how that candle ends. We don't want it to end up and then close because then that would jump. Because I would rather take the short play. Just because of his original move call of the push, we got this from the trend line. This trap and block is so good. Again, this trap and block is an indicator we created for our company. This is literally the greatest indicator we've created. We have a lot of indicators, and as you guys see, this is the one I leave off mute because the other ones will crowd my screen a little bit for you guys on TikTok, and so I like to leave it off mute. But all of them are great. But as you guys have seen, those that have it, these purple blocks are just so freaking good for confluence. So let's see if we get that 44, man. It's testing, trying to hold it. Dun, dun, dun. How's everybody doing this week so far? You guys getting payouts, passing your stuff? Ooh, we got a little chopping block going up and down. Awesome. Did you get some pass on that, Brittany and Andrew and guys? Guys, I'm just checking something here. Nice. Love it. All right. So far so good. You can see we got a good rejection with a pull. Doji. Kind of trying to invalidate the lower one, which makes more sense where we are. If we can get this close, we should get extension. If it gets the good close, which it kind of just did, and it just inversely jumps, it's not supposed to do that because it's setting up a nice little bearish structure with confluence, with Neo calling it a close. Now, in all fairness, he said a 1 minute candle close. Let's see if we got that, which we did not yet. So we want this body to stay below that blue line in 10 seconds, and then that would be your confluence. We keep getting this little trap one there. Interesting. But they are trying. The big move is going to be if you take the high and the low with the ruler. Retesting 830 makes sense. If we retest 830 and jump again, it's going to come up pretty hard. But if we come down here and we jump back and then we lose this on the way back down, then we'll get that full pull out. I was kind of watching to see if it'll happen. Yeah, they're definitely defending that upper 864, and we just about are closing below that 844, but it's pretty tight. Price is back above it, so trying to just be patient for that entry to get that place south if we get it, but we keep getting a little buy pressure coming in at times. So what I want to see is shoulder, head, shoulder. So I want this to stay below 50. If it jumps too far past 50,
Those buyers are trying to make fetch happen, but the volume is actually showing heavy sell pressure, so those little pops are probably just shorts taking a breather. If you were itching for a trip south, I would wait for a clean 1-minute candle close and hold below 29,844.3 before trusting the breakdown. If you are still holding that long, just watch out. Fighting the sell pressure while pinned against overhead resistance is a quick way to turn your portfolio into a donation.
Nope, definitely not playing the long unless we get above 864. Just trying to figure out which direction this wants to go. We had a really good push on open. Usually they like to try to swing it back down. That's what they did yesterday, but getting a little bit of buy pressure in areas it shouldn't be. Yeah, see, they're trying to push it. They're trying.
The market is suffering from a severe case of indecision, trapped right in the institutional range between that 29,844 wall and the 29,864 ceiling. You're seeing buy pressure because the bulls are being stubborn, but they haven't actually accomplished anything besides making us all watch paint dry. Until one side gets a clean breakout above 29,864 or breakdown through 29,844, it's just range jail, so keep sitting on those hands.
Again, guys, if we get a push, hold, push, close above, then that would be your long play. Definitely had a nice little bearish setup, but the way that we kept coming down and sweeping told me there might be one more little hoorah north, but let's see how it treats the trend line in the 64 again. So if you guys recall this yesterday, they did this where they did that little like kind of push, and then we came back down, and then they pushed, and we did a uptrend, but it was like a ranging uptrend on that. And so kind of curious if they're going to do something similar. So let's take this little micro pivot high-low. If it stays above here, any kind of pull absorption is going to pop. If it comes here and starts to absorb south and we get that close below, it'll likely get enough steam this time to push it through. So let's see here. From a higher time frame, yeah, we bounce from the absorption, trying to push. If we take the structure here to here, we're actually breaking a little bit above that 50. So if we go the just looking, yeah, so we could tap 72 even and then pull. But likely if it breaks that structure, it might get a good little push here. You can kind of see too, we have a little bit of a wedge going on. Something like that. Let's just see if we get a little oscillatory range back down there if it wants to just jump it. So we got a nice pull with absorption. If this, when you get these type of candles like this on Heikin-Ashi, you measure the high, low. We get a close above that high and we don't lose the 50%. That tells you you're likely going to go more up. If this comes down, breaks this low, and doesn't break back below the 50 or above the 50%, then it's going down. But again, we're getting interesting absorption north in an area that should be pulling south. So I'm curious to see how we play here, guys. It's gonna be interesting. It's like the Bears are doing their best to push this down, but the Bulls just refuse to die. Seriously, I like to taunt them a little bit at times. Nice, you got it in the long.
It's a classic tug of war with both sides acting like they've had too much espresso. The Bears keep trying to shove it through that 29,844.3 institutional wall, but the Bulls are just ignoring them and buying the dip every time it gets close. We're still trapped in that same institutional range, so until one side actually wins the fight and gets a clean acceptance outside of 29,844.3 to 29,864.14, you're just watching a stalemate. Patience is still the best position. Nobody wants to be the liquidity for someone else's breakout.
Yeah, see this candle here? We're tapping perfectly on the 50. That's why we're getting these pushes. Only way I would suspect this thing's going to really pull is if we absorb, hold, push into here with clean absorption. Then it will have a little bit of propulsion. But so we got a decent absorption, but we need to close below probably here to pick up any kind of steam. Looking at the markets, which side do you think looks more likely to trap? So trying to get a little push, I guess. This is a big candle, guys, because if it pulls with that absorption, close above, again, we'll get a little bit
Right
of a
now,
pop.
this market is essentially a trap-making machine for whoever gets impatient. If the bulls push price above that 29,864.14 wall and it fails to find follow-through, those longs are just fuel for a reversal.
Ah, we got another
If the
trap there. I
bears
didn't see
slam
that.
price through 29,844.30 and it gets shoved back up, those shorts are getting squeezed. Chasing the breakout while price is still stuck in this institutional range
This
is
usually is
usually how you donate your
continuation.
capital to the house. So I am waiting for the dust to settle on one of those levels instead of trying to be the first one to walk into the wood chipper.
So a lot of times in this kind of structure, guys, when you get this push here, 50% hold absorption with a little rounding, usually it's going to create expansion. Where you would see the failure is if we lose the 50 of that push. So if we lose this 52, we'll see some pretty crazy steam. I'll tell you today, like you guys saw, they were trapping like, every time it looked like it was going to drop, it jumped. Every time it looked like it was going to jump, it dropped. And so they were trapping like a mother. And so I would suspect they're going to try to do the same. But let's see. See, it's this is a normal breach wick rear back. If it loses this level, we'll pick up some decent steam to pull. All right, now we're bouncing higher low. We got a trap south, trap north. I mean, damn, trap central going on over here. For me, I'm more looking short if I can get a good pull on the invalidation with the close below there, and then that will do that. I'm not interested in going long here. I'll just wait on it. So I'm watching this breakdown, because then it's going to be the trap move that he was talking about. Because remember earlier he said he would push it up and hold it up there to bait in some longs. And I'm pretty sure that's what he just did, or what it did. See how when we start to break that, then that's when the steam picks up, guys. So we break this 44, and it should drop pretty good. As right now, we're just retesting. So kind of see how I did that. We had the trap there, off there, good wick. This tries to create expansion, but if it loses the 50, which is pretty much there, it usually creates propulsion, and that's where you got that pickup in volume there. This having so much propulsion down, it's an equal retracement from what we just pushed. And so it'll try to go back up. And this is a big push, because if this push comes up here and it rejects, that close is going to be... the only way that this would really jump or create some kind of ranging is if we ignore that 50 and come back up. And then it would have an inverse. So let's watch that. So we got our first push and rejection. Now the close below would create the propulsion. Close above here would give it one more little hoorah attempt, possible even breakthrough. So if it wants to be bearish, it should not reclaim that 52 area. Really this low here, the 55, but... Personally, I'd prefer that they break and get a good close here. The way that this is going, it's tough because it could go pretty quick. Or it might do something like this and then try to do that and then go pretty quick. but we're getting a hammer off of here, but we should be getting a hammer off there. This is what I like to teach, and I like to do when I interpret the market is I want to look at, is it doing what it's supposed to do? Getting absorption south here is supposed to, because it's a trend line. Getting absorption here is supposed to, because it's prior low. So we're coming out of a block. So for it to battle there is not anything, you know, abnormal. Now what I will say is when you get absorption like this and it fails to create that high, it tends to create a lower low. So I'd be really surprised if we don't sweep at least a lower low here. The Bears are coming in with haymakers now. Think they might take them out? We should have some fun. Let's do the boxing one. That was so funny. I'm gonna do it. Who wants to volunteer? Brittany, you want to do it again? What we got? Ryan?
The Bears
Andrew?
are swinging
Come
like
on.
they're in a heavyweight title fight, and with buy pressure at a measly 24%, the Bulls are starting to look like a punching bag. That 29,844.3
See the sweep? We
wall
got
is
the
the only
low.
thing keeping your long on life support. If that level snaps and price can't claw back above it, it's probably time to stop donating to the cause and let the short side party happen.
All right, so we see how we got the low. It's kind of a weak low. Remember I was telling you though we might sweep, try to tap, and then the absorption close below would be the propulsion. But if it sweeps, taps, reclaims, you know, it might just be ranging. But you know, we did get that low regardless. I want to see, because when we get these deep pivots with this kind of look, with that low here, it should, if it rejects there, create an extension equal to here. And so that would give you 23.75. So that would give you, depending where the pivot ends, so let's just say, yeah, it'd be somewhere around there. Will be the target if we get that extension, because then you're starting your 3-tier drop, which is probably likely. Well, let's see. You know, we got the 1 minute close. We're low. So remember, invalidation is above 864. So if you're trying to be short from it. Looks like they broke below that 844. The Bulls are trying to save this, but I don't know. They might lose it. Alright.
The Bulls are definitely sweating bullets here. Since price is at 29,840.00, that 29,844.3 major wall has officially flipped from support to an overhead headache acting as resistance. With buy fraction dragging at 18%, this is looking like a classic retail trap. If they can't reclaim and hold that 29,844.3 level almost immediately, the odds of this long working out are dropping faster than a lead balloon. I'd keep a very tight eye on 29,817.25. If that structural invalidation snaps, the long thesis is basically toast.
Exactly. See how it's starting the 3-tier? Boom. Yeah, it should be about here. Then it might jump and then pull. Tap that would give the 3-tier invalidation, which then would send it back up. So we'll see. Just make sure you guys are trailing. Asia gets a little wild.
I didn't realize my funded was same-day conversion.
Oh, dude, it's amazing. Why do you think I love their rapids? I can literally, with my rapids, I will do half, let's say right now, and then, or let's say I do half today, earlier, and then I do half tonight. I can convert it and start trading, get past the intra, and take the payout in my bank tomorrow. So you can literally get an eval today and have money in my bank tomorrow. I literally did it with this one. So yeah, I did it with this one. I didn't really swing big on this one, but for this one it was just 913 and then that, and then I got the one I got the other day was the bigger one. Little trap. It's pretty close to that extension we were putting. So I may kind of try to, oops, I didn't mean to do that. See if we take a pivot right there. We take that high, that would put our low there on 21. Our trap block thing is picking up some crazy buy pressure coming in.
This one was end of day, so basically.
Gotcha.
Had to trade that for 4 days, right? I think, yeah.
Okay.
I look away from the chart and look at it. Boom stick.
Just looking at something. That was a pretty wild push there, but look at the rejection, guys. Look at our trap block. It picked it up. It literally identified the trap right there. Bam. Shot up 20 points. I'll tell you, that indicator is so good. But nice little stop pump and sweep. So we'll, my projected measure move target was around 21. So somewhere in there is what I was really expecting a potential bounce on. Let's have some fun tonight in Asia. Let's do all of our analysis going forward tonight as a boxing announcer. And I want you to use participants. Let's do Ryan and Andrew and pick one to be the Bulls and one to be the Bears, and I'll let you take it from there. Again, he's AI, guys, so have fun with him. Watch what he does. It's funny. I don't know. Who's winning? What do you want to be, Ryan? Bulls or Bears?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Asia Session main event. In the blue corner, looking for a rebound, we have Ryan the Bull. And in the red
Ryan the
corner,
Bull.
playing the role of the ultimate spoiler at the institutional wall, we have Andrew the Bear. Right now, Andrew is leaning all his weight on Ryan, pinning him right against that 29,844.3 to 29,851.9 institutional resistance zone. Ryan is trying to fight off the ropes at 29,837.50, but he's taking some heavy punishment from that 1-minute Lisma overhead.
Interesting.
To flip the script, Ryan needs to muscle through that 29,844.3 to 29,851.9 wall and actually hold it. Until he clears that resistance, Andrew is firmly in control of the ring. If Ryan gets shoved back below the 29,827.75 EMA area, he might be looking at a trip down to the canvas near deeper liquidity. Keep your gloves up. This range is tighter than a drum.
Yeah, Ryan is doing his best to swing his way out of the corner, but Andrew looks like he's throwing haymakers out there. It's always, I love to do this, and then people join in. They're like, "What are you talking about again? Like, what are you trading?"
Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan is definitely feeling the heat. Andrew is unloading those heavy institutional haymakers right at the 29,844.3 to 29,851.9 wall. Ryan's dancing on the ropes at 29,838.25, just trying to survive the round, but he needs to land a solid blow above that 29,851.9 pivot to stop Andrew's momentum. Right now, Andrew is winning the scorecard on pure pressure, and Ryan looks like he's just waiting for the bell to ring before he takes any more damage.
I would put it really close to that 17. This is a nice little stop hunt, but I'm still expecting a potential little 3-tier pull here. But you can see in that stop hunt, if you take the high and the low, we're respecting the 50. Now, I'm not a huge fan that I have 2 trap and blocks there, because that stuff is... But in all fairness, it already played out for the most part on the jump. There. Just for fun, can you give your best impression of a retail trader that is trying to actively trade US Open at the bell? We're going to have fun. I like a little bit on Asia just to... Oh, get him! I saw him. Where'd he go? Ah, I'm going to find him.
Oh man, The 9:30 bell
He's
is the
gone.
ultimate hold my beer moment for the retail archetype.
Hold my beer
Deep breath,
moment.
manic typing. Okay, it's opening. It's flying. I'm buying the breakout. Moon mission, baby. Wait, why did it just dump 40 points in 5 seconds? Must be a liquidity sweep. Hold the line. Hold the line. Wait, now it's crashing? Flip short. Okay, where's the news? Why is it moving? My platform is lagging. Why is it lagging? Fine, I'm out. I'm out. Wait, it's ripping back up again? Are you kidding me? I'm going back in. That's the classic retail chaos, my friend. If you're ever feeling that frantic energy, just remember, the market is usually just looking to mug anyone who tries to fight the open bell without a plan.
How accurate is he on that, guys? I think he's pretty accurate. Wait, I'm in my long. Why is it dropping? Oh, you're right. I should go short. Wait, why is it going back up? I'm going to go back long. Never mind. I'm just closing this. Oh, now it decides to go long. The market hates me. That is hilarious. We were just laughing about that. That is probably the funniest thing that you do. Absolutely love it because of the fact that it's pretty accurate. Guys, we're just testing the neckline right now. I mean, they had a deep old sweep with a pull.
Glad the retail trader skip hit home. It's funny until you're the one clicking the buttons. Then it's just a horror movie. Let's make sure your long doesn't end up on the wrong side of the highlight reel. Right now, price is pinned at 29,838.25, and that institutional wall at 29844.3 is acting like a bouncer at a club Ryan isn't allowed into yet. I wouldn't trust the long until he actually clears and holds above 29844.3. If he pulls it off, the first meaningful target zone is 29,864.14. If he loses that 29,817.25 structural floor, the gloves come off and the Bears take the round.
Oh, yeah. I can see it. It looks like Ryan's trying to get into that club with a fake ID. He gets caught. Whew. Bodyguard's going to have their way. I love just taunting him. Like I said, it's cool. You could have some fun.
Now, Ryan is trying to talk his way past that 29,844.3 bouncer, but he's still a few steps short. If he can't flash a real close above ID for that 29,844.3 to 29,851.9 zone, the bouncer's just going to toss him right into the 29,826.75 streak. If Ryan loses that 29,826.75 swing low, the long thesis is officially getting kicked out of the venue. I would be watching that level like a hawk. If it snaps, staying in the long starts looking like a very painful bet against a tough bouncer. You have to decide if you're waiting for the reclaim or if it's time to head home before the furniture starts flying.
No, I agree. I'm definitely Team Andrew. I love the people that are probably just joining going, what the hell kind of live is this about your trading?
The bear is holding that 29,844.3 wall like it's his last slice of pizza. And as long as Ryan can't muscle back above it, the short idea stays live. I would look for a rejection or a failed reclaim at that 29,844.3 level for confirmation to ride this down. If Andrew keeps the pressure on, 29,826.75 is the first meaningful downside target to clear. If Ryan manages to reclaim 29,844.3 and starts building support above 29,851.9, though, Andrew's defense is busted and the short thesis is officially getting shoved out of the ring.
Yeah, hopefully Ryan's cardio is not up to par and that he'll finally run out of gas so Andrew can finally bring this down.
Ryan is definitely gasping for air at 29,843.00, and Andrew is absolutely suffocating him right against the ropes at that 29,844.3 to 29,851.9 wall. If Ryan doesn't find a second win to reclaim above 29,851.9, he's taking the count. For Andrew to finish this, we need to see a clear rejection from that wall, followed by a clean breakdown below 29,826.75. If Ryan manages to bust through the ceiling and holds 29,864.14, consider Andrew's game plan busted. Since you're Team Andrew, keep your eyes peeled for that resistance hold. If it snaps, the short thesis is ready to rumble.
Oh yeah, even though I'm Team Andrew, man, I don't want Ryan to do a little slip and tuck and come up with a haymaker. Again, guys, the beauty of AI is you can have fun with them. You know, if you're just
Andrew
using
is
them
looking
as
to land the
a
counterpunch,
tool, you're
but Ryan's still
underusing
dancing
them.
right under that 29,844.3 to 29,851.9 resistance wall. So watch out for that haymaker liquidity sweep. I'd only trust the short
Yeah,
if
they're trying to
price
push
loses
it.
29,826.75 and confirms with a 1-minute bearish candle close, because until then, any slip and tuck bounce could trap you. The structural invalidation is 29,864.14. If price clears that, the bears are eating canvas. There's no clear target below that breakdown trigger yet, so manage the continuation through developing structure rather than guessing a floor.
If it wants to drop, it shouldn't break this 45 and area and hold it. If it does, 52 is fine. It's about the 0.5. This would be, I'm sorry, this is the 0.618. The 0.5 of the structure is somewhere in here, like 47. And so with this structure being bearish, little neckline there, got the sweep, the hold, little parallel channel, the break of this would be what would likely give you your propulsion from there. So we need to get below that, and then you'll get further propulsion. I'm kind of surprised that they're holding it up as much as they are, to be honest with you. But we did get a nice little impulse, but yeah. This is the thing, like, I'll tell you, those of you guys in the Google Meet here can thumbs up if you agree, but I've gotten so used to Neo being so good with his calls during the US Open that any trade that lasts longer than like 2 minutes, I'm like, I'm over this. Because his calls in the US are just like, we break below here, we're going to there. Okay, cool, we broke below, cool, man. Oh, shoot. All right, TP, guys. You guys get all that? We're good. It's crazy. And then you come into Asia and you're like, so for those that missed it, he had said Asia is likely going to sweep it up into this level before it breaks below 44, slamming it back down to 780. That's what he said. And I still think it's a very good possibility of that happening. But in Asia, it's going to take an hour instead of minutes. Just looking at a couple things here.
Do you ever try to do 5-second or 10-second candles when you look at Asia?
So again, I know you know my thought on when it comes to candles. The candle, depending how you look at it, doesn't matter a ton, but it does. Lower time frame is going to show you things if you know how to interpret it. We have played with the 5-second, totally fine. I have no issue with it. I just found the 15-second is that happy medium. You know, not too fast, not too slow. But as long as you're looking at how it's handling something. So for example, if 844 wants to be resistance, we should not be absorbing into it. I want to start to see absorption off of it. If we're absorbing into it, then it's likely going to break it. So see how we pushed in and we're rejecting. That's what I want to see. Now I want to see the close below and the sweep. And so, you know, as I teach it, the candles are going to do the same thing, no matter the time frame. It's just going to matter on the duration of how long it takes to play out, or the significance of how far that's going to move. And so, yeah, see the attempt to push here? So the 50% is literally right there where it tapped. So for us to be bearish deeply, we really want to see some deep absorption here, because that was a perfect tap on the 50%. So if you grab the top and the bottom, see that? Perfect tap. So I want to see a rejection and a pull, because then it's a break, a 50% break. That would be your bearish continuation setup. If it blows through that, how you can kind of tell in the inverse is you're going to take this rejection that's happening and do this. And if it pulls back and holds the 50%, you know, it might rear back, hit it, and actually jump. So to see the weakness, I want to see that 50% absorb us like it did, and I want to see a close back below that 50%. Anything short of that could go the other way. Now, the only thing I was looking at here is if you take this high to that low, our 618 is right around that 52 from within. So it really should not break that if it's going to be more bearish. So again, see it's struggling right at that 50. So now we have kind of a new peak. Let's pull that and see if we disrespect that 50. But if this is our 50, again, we're not in as many candles in, but why are we absorbing north into an area that should be dropping us south? You know, those are the things that wouldn't line up. So you have to question. And so we're still going to try to likely push. We actually kind of have, I was just looking at this earlier. You kind of take that, and then if you cut it, something like that would be about a parallel. I'm curious if we're going to tap somewhere up here and then sweep back for that low. And then that would bring it back up and then spring it if it wants to really go. But we'll see. Again, it's the first Asia session, guys, post-CPI as well, so we don't really know how Asia is going to treat it. The last few days, Asia's wanted to buy mostly. The tricky thing about Asia is a lot of times the first way that they like to go is not usually the right way. So I'm kind of curious how they're going to play this. Usually about 9:30, between 9 and 9:30 is when you'll start to see either a deep continuation or that reversal. More times than not, it's a reversal, but they're definitely, I mean, they've held this up here for about an hour. But that's why when I trade Asia, I'm usually working. I'll do my TA, kind of set my limits, you know, set my TPs, and then I just work on myself. Because otherwise, when you're sitting here, I feel like after trading US pretty often, and then you go to trade Asia, it's very boring. Pretty wild. Do you think this little push north is a trap on the bull side of it? Because we're just below a trend line that's a pretty large trend line. And so if they don't break that, I would suspect they're going to push it down. But man, the bulls are still trying to show some strength. See this push with the parallel though? That's what I'm mostly watching. But I want to see if it holds this halfway and jumps.
You're staring at that resistance like a boxer watching a guy wind up for a haymaker. And honestly, your gut is on the money. Price is currently pinned right inside the 29,844.3 to 29,851.9 institutional reaction zone, which is a prime spot for the bulls to get mugged if they don't have the juice to clear it. I'd be watching for a failed reclaim of that 29,851.9 ceiling. If price slips back under 29,844.3 and loses the 29,826.75 floor, that's when the trap scenario really starts to look appetizing for Team Andrew. Just keep the invalidation height to 29,864.14, because if the bulls do punch through that ceiling, they've clearly decided they aren't ready to go to the canvas yet.
Yeah, so we had a nice little sweep with the pull. A lot of absorption in here. Our trap indicator, yet again, phenomenal. Nice little 10, 15 point move from it so far. We're getting a push. Remember, I was saying absorption there don't make sense. And so now we're kind of holding that as support. So I would want to see like a sweep and then a close below there to get some deeper propulsion. But you also want to look at the Y. I love the Y of this. And so if we had a decent little setup here with a nice little pretty little looking neckline, shouldn't really have broken that. But unless they're trying to bait it, right? Or like I said, it could be a longer kind of elongated bull flag, and they might just do one more oscillation down to hit the 817 before it decides to jump or drop. But Keep in mind, when he said close below 844, the target is 817. Invalidation 864. So he's pretty good at hitting the targets. Like, actually, all the way to the dollar. And so I want to see if we actually get that for those that are playing it. So I do have a short that I've been kind of defensively playing, and so each time it pushes up, I kind of just add a little on a limit or a market, depending if I look at it and click it. And then I got a TP just above it, like 20.25. So let's see if we get that. So there's our sweep again. All right, so that hit my first rung TP. Let's see if it gets my second one. I'm not trading a ton. I'm just like 5 MQ. And then I'll add 1 rung. So most I'll get doing is like 10. I trade a little more volume on Asia than I will US, but just because you got to capitalize on some of these little moves. But yeah, so if you remember what I was telling you guys on the fib, this is what I love about the fib. So when I pull, see how we pushed up, couldn't even top the 618, and we broke down, lost the 0.5. That usually is going to bring some steam. I'd be really surprised if it doesn't create a lower low. I'd be really surprised, but having a double block here is pretty good. But in all fairness, it played out not once, but twice. Because it's the 15-second, right? So it's not going to be a very massive move. We know we have a trap block here, so anything that does spring back up there has a chance of also dropping back down. But I would expect this to get an extension to here. But it depends. Again, now we have another pivot. So take just a simple ruler, and if it wants to stay bearish, it's got to stay below 839. So I would imagine this is going to try to do a little wick, and then if it wicks and goes, it's going to go up again. If it wicks and absorbs, closes below, you'll get some momentum on that. And so looks like the bulls got a little tired there. I think Andrew's wearing them down. So let's see, these trap and block areas are just ugh.
Crazy part is I'm Team Andrew too.
Ryan's team is definitely getting dragged into the deep end now.
No,
That
you're a bull, Ryan.
29,844.3
Neo's
to 29,851.9 zone turned into a brick wall, and with buy pressure at a pathetic 12%, it's clear the bulls are gasping for air. I'd watch for a clean 1-minute bearish candle close below 29,826.75 to confirm the short. There is no clear local numeric target supplied right now, so I'd manage the continuation through developing structure rather than guessing a floor. Failure back above 29,826.75 is your first warning, and the structural invalidation sits at 29,864.14. If they punch through that, Ryan's got more fight than I gave him credit for.
Good lord. It's 9 o'clock already. Where does this time go, guys? Again, it's fighting this range. If we fib this little pivot out, looks like we got, yeah, a good little sweep. Couldn't get to the 5. Lost the 382. I'm not a huge fan, again, that we're absorbing, but we've done that so much before. So as long as we don't reclaim 39 or 41, then it would end up pushing, absorbing, close below, drop. Now, if we push up through this, then we're just oscillating, which would really surprise me. Yeah, because the way that this pushed here into the sweep, where it swept, and then we failed, usually creates a lower low, but we'll see. It's acting definitely a little wonky. A little wonky. Oh, that Nets. Man, this thing's going to be the death of me, guys.
Stuck on the 200.
I don't know, by tomorrow, those in the mentor group, if you get a text saying, guys, I apologize, but my entire office got destroyed chasing this thing, I apologize. You have Neo. Oh. It's the worst too, because especially when I'm in here and I'm trying to, I got so many things I'm focusing on, and all I see is this. And I'm like, oh, you son of a. And turn on my fan, blow that fucker away. I'm gonna turn this thing up. It'll circulate. Yeah, she's still absorbing, man. We might oscillate again. This is crazy. They just don't want to let it come down. Still kind of wedging, like I said. Could be. I don't know. Sorry, I was yelling downstairs. But look at this attempt again. Gotta love our little trapping blocks here. It's funny when you're trying to go, let's say, shorts, and these things populate, you're like, oh, that son of a...
Every time.
Like, no, it didn't just do that again to me. But hey, we want to get a little ranging in Asia, I'm down. So this is a big one, because it bounced where it should have. There's the volume I want. So now let's see. If we get the volume and the push, pull, it'll drop. There's our chopped and block. Nice. Ooh, and we got a flip to a freaking sell block. Interesting. This might be that rejection. Let's see. When it has this kind of pressure from that, it removed the block on it, which is interesting. This has got to create a lower low, guys. I mean, this one here should have created a... Oh, did it? No. Barely did not. So this one has to. I'm still expecting that tap sweep because remember, like I said, the entry from the 44, his target was 17. And he's about to hit it. This would be a pretty good trade for me because I just been scalping 5M and Q on these drops each time. So this one right here, I hit another rung TP. Every time it jumps and starts to pull, I'm just tapping in and then setting a TP. So, but I have my final TP on this one down here. I do have another one that is in that short, but it's really low volume with a TP down here at the 780 because that was his original call. So I wanted to see if it's going to hit. There's the lower low that it's supposed to make. Now we're finally doing stuff we're supposed to do. I'm going to move that one to 21.25 just because I'm pretty good on my profit, guys. So I don't need to be greedy with it. Let's see. You're so crazy. Good job. You liar.
I wasn't in a trade actually at that moment.
my wife, I texted her. I was like, hey, she was downstairs. That's why I muted for a second. I'm like, how you doing on it? Because she watches Neo stuff, and she's like, I can hear him. I don't have to talk to him. I was like, okay, because I had my door open. And she's like, not really trading. And remember, guys, from the mentor, she just got a payout and from Lucid, and she wanted to try to get a little bit of a bigger day to not just the 150, 150, 150 to get another full payout, the 2000. And so she was, I'm like, I said, how are you doing? She goes, I'm good. I'm like, okay. I'm like, are you going to trade? She goes, no, I'm just looking. I'm like, okay. And then she comes upstairs, sends me a picture. Here's the picture. No, you can't see it. Stupid filter. I'll send it later in the group chat. Oh, you know, I'm doing okay. Barely trying over here. Realized profit 1156. She's up 1156 already on this. Well, now I can't go to sleep because you're beating me by just a little. That's embarrassing. Oh, man, that's so crazy. That's awesome, though. Very cool. Ooh, a little trap and block. So it hit half my runs. So cool, so cool. Here, I'll put it in the, what a cheater. There's another chop and block fun. Hmm. So if we pivot, we'll be here. It's 382. For us to have that 382 right at the lows here, where there was a lot of buyer support, it should not reclaim that if it wants the strength to pull down to where he originally said. I'm glad I moved my TP up barely. I put it up to the 21.25 and it literally just tapped it to the penny. 21.25 was the low. Oof. That's why sometimes, guys, it's good not to be greedy and just take the intuition. It only took off a rung. I saw my last one in there, but I'm playing with profits on it. On mine, I'm up about 1,000. So I said, now I got to get more than, what did she get? 1156. I'm not going to bed till I get it. One more trade. All right, so we went a little higher than I would have liked. I love when you can get that kind of little friendly competitions going. Definitely pushing. Don't you guys love these little trapping blocks? You too can have one. I'm telling you, that indicator is just so crazy. It works on any time frame too. They're better on higher time frames, but it's good on all time frames. It's only better on higher because it's going to move more. That's the only reason. But yeah, if I can get a drop back down to these lows, which I'm not sure if that'll happen. Because you can see we're clearly push parallel, guys. Could invalidate, right? Could be setting it up. But it's setting up where if we do get a sweep to 817 with any kind of volume sweep north, I'm just going to try to jump on this pretty hard. But again, we're coming into 930 and Asia at 930 loves to sweep. So yeah. Yeah, have a good one, Stefan. It's already 9. I don't usually trade past 9. That's why I was like, man, we went past 9. But I will, Wednesdays are the days I'll hang around, but I'm kind of watching TikTok and people are kind of drifting away. And so, if participation gets a little low on the TikTok, maybe people are done. Or maybe they're suppressing me. TikTok loves to suppress me. But if that gets a little lower and, if you guys aren't here ready to ask questions, then I may just drop off, guys. I'm not going to stay up late and trade in an area that I don't normally trade if you guys aren't here. So, any questions, guys? Let me know. I'd love to see in the comments. Otherwise, I'm going to assume people are kind of inactive. TikTok at times loves to suppress me, and so I can't actually tell who's on here or not, or how many. But look at that trapping block again. I think it's just been absolutely fire. Oh, I know you just look. If you were just a little smaller, I'd just put your ass in my lap. I mean, you could just push buttons for me. My dog is extra needy lately, guys. Extra needy, extra needy. Yeah, chilling and waiting. Yeah, it's kind of me. I mean, I've taken some trades and some scalps along there for sure. More southern on it, but I'm a little not too thrilled about the fact that this is trend bull flag. It's almost like it did yesterday. I still think that they want to try to sweep it one more time, but see how you got kind of like this ugly ass looking inverse head and shoulder? They did this yesterday where they had this something similar and they just wouldn't let it break that neckline. And then they had a little pull that began to channel the other way from it. I'm kind of wondering if they're going to do something like that. But guys, I actually trade Monday through Friday. So if you don't know me, I'll be here tomorrow 9 a.m. And if you want to see what Neo can do for open, I suggest check it out. He's doing awesome for people. I'm gonna clean my glasses. Yeah, we may get this little channel flag pop here. Making a little run at the channel again. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and usually that's why I don't trade Asia either. I love to kind of do it as a family time because you get stuck just sometimes here for hours where I can take trades in minutes in the US. So, but yeah, enjoy your night. I'll be there in the morning.